Hello, this is Rahim and Christina. How are you guys?
Back to you by popular demand.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding. A couple people commented on our other video about having an interfaith relationship, and clearly other people, our little community of people who are in interfaith relationships, we kind of struggle with telling our parents. So this video is about how to tell your parents about having an interfaith relationship.
Yes.
I say that question mark because there's no foolproof way and every situation is different, but we'll talk about our experiences and some other things that we think might be helpful.
Exactly. I know it's challenging, and I know if you are a guy who's watching this and you're a girl watching this, I'm sure it's challenging. You just found the love of your life and you feel like you want to spend the life with this guy, or you want to spend this life with this girl, and the only thing, maybe you guys have agreed about everything, and everything, like you feel like, oh, you are the one and she's the one and everything, but families means two different cultures, two different religions. I'm sure almost like sometimes it's two different countries as well, so it's not that an easy thing. And we had some kind of challenging time, me and Christine, about that, and we would love to give you some kind of experience that we have faced that will really help you out to face this challenge, because I know you guys are in a challenge now, but these small steps that we have done might help you by getting some kind of inspirations to do it in your situation, because we don't know exactly your story and your situations, but you can get some kind of key point that could be the key of opening the door for an amazing life together.
First of all, if you hear something in the background, that is our 3-month-old, and he is right here, and so it's not just weird noises in the background.
Yeah.
We do actually have a little baby next to us, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, which is really nice. Alhamdulillah, we have blessed with Noor. His name is Noor.
So maybe in the future you'll see some videos about
Yes, how to
kids,
having
how to be
kids.
parents.
Yeah.
We're still learning, so.
Yeah, we're still learning. Exactly. We have something, for example, for me, in our culture, they say that love is a blessing. It always came from God. Like, especially, I can say I'm talking about the true love. There is some kind of temporary emotions and these kind of things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about true love. You feel like you are connected to this person by emotionally, spiritually, even your mind feel like you're connected with this guy or this girl. When you feel that kind of things, you feel like you just find your life partner that you would love to spend your life with. And the good thing that now we are in an open society, so I'm sure you, or as a guy, or you as a girl, you have been in some kind of relationships before, could be, where like you have learned more about yourself. For me, I had some relationships where I was literally learning a lot about myself, about how I behave and these kind of things. When I met Christina, it was like an amazing day. It was on the 8th of February. I remember the
Wow,
date. She forgot the date, by the way.
I do forget.
It's okay.
I'm not good at remembering dates in general.
8th of February, 2022 at 4 p.m.
2020.
I can know, yeah, I can remember even the menu of the thing that I started to eat, because I remember all the moments.
Molokhia. Do we?
Yeah, we had molokhia. Molokhia, it's a Egyptian food. Yeah, we went to an Egyptian restaurant. We were in Ritzy Mall, Jeddah.
Molokhia, if you've never had it, Rahim thinks it's so delicious. I'm getting used to it. Its texture is a little bit slimy, so we don't have anything like it in my culture, so I'm not used to the texture. But anyways,
so let's come back.
I want to first start by saying I think we'll get into what we did and how we came together and we kind of wrote things down, but I think it's important to start by understanding the perspective of your parents, right? 50 years ago.
It's okay. It's okay for Noor.
50 years ago, interfaith relationships were probably way less common and a lot harder. Like, if we think it's hard now, it's probably a lot harder. We live in a day and age now where we're exposed to a lot of different cultures, a lot of religions, a lot of like just different people through technology, and our parents weren't exposed to all of that as kids. Like this is why generations have misunderstandings, because what we grew up with is different than what they grew up with. And I think that's an important thing to understand from both sides. And
Exactly.
it's like this exposure thing where like clearly if you're watching this video, like you are maybe in an interfaith relationship and you are open to that, and you have to think, why am I open to this? My parents are not. And it's that exposure aspect, right? They're not, maybe they haven't been exposed to other religions or seen how like truly beautiful they are, and then I think that's like step one. Like before even talking about your relationship to them, can you somehow expose them to the religion in a way that is like shows them like the positive sides of it, shows them, because we all watch biased information, we all watch things that kind of solidify our beliefs that we already have. So how can we, before even presenting the relationship, how can we like expose that to our parents is kind of
Exactly.
my first thing.
I thank you, Christina, for this point, because it's really important point. And I like that day I was like watching a video where like I don't know who is she, but she was telling that stop complaining about your parents, about how they deal with you, about things that the way they deal with you with, because they were not having all the source of knowledge and information that you have. And she was saying that she raised a kid now. Whenever she has any kind of difficulties with her boy or girl, she will just go Google it and just 1, 2, 3, and then she will find the steps and they find the best articles and these kind of things. But I'm sorry, our parents were not really like to these kind of informations. They were not even having smartphones.
Maybe they still don't.
Yeah,
Maybe they still
yeah,
don't.
even though like when they raise you up. So make sure that you have to understand that you are dealing with different mindset. Don't expect them to be like, oh, with all the knowledge and information that you have, because they were not having that kind of resource. So and now we're telling this because we have been there, and sometimes when you are inside the thing, you cannot see clearly, but when you go outside and you see the big picture, you feel like, yeah, thank God you guided me to understand this point. For me, I'm a Muslim. I was grown and lived in Saudi Arabia and in Jeddah exactly. My mom was born and lived in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah exactly. She was like studying in Hall University and everything. And maybe, I don't know if there is a Muslim guy who can understand how was like, I can say that the level of people were like very, very, very religious in a way. Some of that could be positive and some of that could be negative, especially when you understand, for example, Islam in a wrong way or something like that. So my mom, she's a very religious woman. So sure, if she has an expectation of her oldest son to marry somebody, is to marry someone is almost a copy of her in somehow. So that's one challenge. And also, Christina, parents are religious Christian family.
I grew up in a very, very Christian family.
So,
yes.
and like like they are religious as well. The challenge was really deeper. I remember one day, me and Christina, when we started to have that emotions in the first time when we felt these emotions, the first thing came to her mind, that my mind, is to break up. And we broke up.
It's true.
Yes, we broke up. Why?
The differences felt so great.
Yeah.
That I was like, this is cool. We can stay friends, but I'm not even going to talk to like, honestly, it was my parents. 100%. I was like not wanting to talk to my parents about it. I was like, this is never going to work because I'm always going to choose my family. Like we all feel this way, right? Like at the end of the day, we're like, I'm going to choose my family. Like I've known them my whole life. They've had my back. I love them. They love me. How could I do this to them? And then that's to say like, like, oh, I feel like emotional talking about this. Like it's not these conversations are not going to come without hurt. Like, I think we were both emotional at different points during this kind of transition for us, and we have made it to the other side, and now both of our families love the other like person, but we did go through emotional times, and I personally
we said emotional
shed a lot of tears.
And Noor get emotional.
I know, no.
Hi, Noor.
I cried a lot. There was a lot of different moments because, you know, you feel like confused about yourself. You feel, am I letting down my family? Am I letting down myself?
Yeah, especially when you know somebody from outside the culture and like outside your country. You don't know me and I don't know you, and it's kind of challenging.
Noor wants to join the combo.
Hi, Noor. We can look. This is the product of our interfaith relationship until now. Hi, Noor. So the thing is, so when we started to feel the feeling and everything was like really good between us and everything, so we felt like it's the time to really sit down. And so after the first breakup that we did, it was like I love when you look at this like that. So when we broke up, it was like she was right. So even for me, I was like, I think one of the sign that you know you are in a healthy relationship, it's when you feel like peace with this love. So I was like telling Christina, it's okay. I like you as a person, and I had a feeling with you, and I was like so grateful to find somebody like you. So I'll be glad, because she was just moving to Jeddah. So I was like, I can be your friend. We can just be friends. And she was like crying that day. And then I know the secret of making the lady stop crying by bringing her to a really nice restaurant.
Food!
Yeah, food sometimes.
Coffee, chocolate.
Could be. So we had food on this day, but like, and then we broke up for a couple of months. I don't know like how many days. And then after that, we felt like, oh, that is really real.
Yeah.
These emotions it's not like emotions, it's not a temporary emotions. It's something real between us. So what we felt like, oh, hi, it's okay. So we felt like it's the time for us to really sit down and talk about that things between us, right, Noor? So I remember one day we were like sitting and we were like, I told Christina, and I remember, by the way, the notebook that we wrote everything about that, it's still here. We have it. So I was sitting, and then I was like, I took that notebook, and then we sit and we write down, and I asked her. That's right.
We talked about like everything. About how
we were
values,
writing.
How like we want to raise kids, all different things, just to see if between us it was even possible, right? Do things line up enough that is it worth even talking to our parents about, right? Like, yeah.
Exactly. So we started with the values. So I was like asking Christina, what's your values? What's the most important thing that for you in the relationship? So we were talking about that in details. We wrote it down. So what do you like? What do you hate? I was saying the same thing. So we were talking everything in details. And even making a decision about where we live or what to do, it was clear as per these values. Because when these values was really clear, that helped us to make even decisions. So, for example, the value of growing. We said that one of the main values for us is growing. So when Christina wanted to start her DMB program, I was like the first one who wanted to support. So when I get an offer to move to another city in Riyadh, Christina, she was like the first one to support. Yes, we are here to grow. So, and there is many values we were writing that down. The conclusion of that almost more than 1 hour sitting, writing down what exactly we want from this relationship, what's the objective, what the goals and everything, it makes us more clear about everything we want.
It was like, this could work. Or we were like, this probably couldn't work. We wrote everything down. We were like, wow, actually everything lines up a lot closer than what we thought. And we felt that, but like now we know it. And so now it is something worth us talking to our parents about. So this is so like step one, understand your parents' perspective. Step number two,
strengthen your relationship by clarity.
Yes.
Clarity.
Bring clarity to your relationship.
Yes.
Through like some quality time, sit down, write everything down.
Yes. So when we felt like having that kind of clarity and everything is clear with us because belief came from clarity. So the more you are clear about everything in your life, the more you will have beliefs about it. That make us strengthen our belief and make us face the challenge, which is I was knowing that my mom might not agree, and she was knowing that her parents might not agree. So that kind of clarity make me go and talk to my mom easily, and she was talking to her parents easily. Sure, in the beginning there's the first reaction. Sure, they will talk to you based on their perception, which is their main perception is to secure you.
I'm gonna say I feel like if you come from a really religious background, it's never gonna be the case where you tell your parents and they're immediately like,
Sure.
like their first gut reaction just and we know this. Like I feel like as children of these people, we know how our parents work, right? We know, that's why I'm like, every situation is different. Like, you know your parents, you know how to approach sensitive topics, you know, like,
Okay, sorry.
you know which situations are okay and what aren't. Like, so I feel like, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'll talk a little bit about what I think are like good strategies for this. Something I told my parents multiple times at the beginning.
Okay, I think we're gonna pause the video. No need to be faded.
All right, so
We are back.
Noor got a cute little outfit change.
Yeah.
If any of you guys are parents, you guys know why.
You have to change him every 2 hours, right? Okay, so we were talking about how to have internal strength by having clarity, because clarity is power, as Tony Robbins said. So the more you are clear, the more your even energy, the more your power will be like more into the thing that you are facing now. In all the religions, the devil is always try to distract you for all the things that can make you grow. So clarity, writing down everything what you want, it's make you clear about where you want to go.
All right, so we are having some issues with the camera. So there will be a part 2 where we talk more about how we told our parents about our interfaith relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Share this episode with anyone who you feel like will really benefit from that, and we're gonna continue
And we hope
with
this
you.
helped you.
Yes, and we will help you guys until you make it. See you soon. Thank you very much.